Welcome students to Latin American music. Historical background of Latin American music. Latin American music incorporates African music brought by slaves who were transported to the Americas by European settlers. We have indigenous Latin American music. Indigenous Latin American music was largely functional in nature. They were used for religious worships and ceremonies. African natives were found to be using local drums and some percussion instruments and some wind instruments like the panpipes. The materials were made from trees, animal skins, fruit shells, and other materials around them. Afro-Latin music. African influence on Latin American music largely fits in its varied and rich rhythmic pattern as performed by the drums and other percussion instruments. Euro-Latin American music. South Chile and Colombian Pacific use Renaissance melodies, while Hispanic and Moorish influenced areas like Venezuela and Colombia use stepwise melodies. So the following are the characteristics of Latin American music. We have the language. In language, uses Spanish and Portuguese language and sometimes the Creole, a person of mixed European and Black descent, especially in the Caribbean. Rhythm, it is distinct and usually repetitive bass or bass rhythms. Syncopation this is the musical style where weak rhythmic beats are accented instead of strong ones. We also have call and response. This musical style has two or more musical parts that go back and forth in response to each other. These can be either rhythmic beats or strong beats. And we also have the Spanish decima or decima. Decima is a song form consisting of 10 lines, each having 8 syllables. So, how do you describe the historical and cultural background of Latin American music? Next, we have characteristics of Latin American music. Latin American music is diverse, rhythmic, and blended to a variety of styles. Latin American music encompasses a number of musical forms such as the following. We have samba, we have son, salsa, and other vocal and dance forms. We have cumbia, tango, cha-cha, rumba, bossa nova, reggae, foxtrot, and paso doble. Samba, a dance form of African origin which later evolved into an African-Brazilian invention among the working class and slum districts of Rio de Janeiro. Batucada is the most adventurous kind of samba. Samba music is in doppelmeter, with a high bass drum beat on the first beat, a lower foundation beat on the second beat, and highly syncopated rhythms played over the top. A bateria, percussion band or rhythmic section, plays the rhythmical part, while melody instruments and singers play the tune. Samba can be performed by a single guitarist or a mob. Son. It is a fusion of the popular music or canciones of Spain and the African rumba rhythms of Batu origins. It had its origin from Cuba. It is usually played on 3 guitars, contrabass, bongos, maracas, and claves. Salsa, it is a social dance of Cuban and Puerto Rican influence. It contains the elements of the swing and hustle plus the complex Afro-Cuban and Afro-Caribbean dance forms of pachanga and guanguanco. Next, we have vocal and dance forms. This includes cumbia, tango, cha-cha, rumba, bossa nova, reggae, foxtrot, and paso doble. Let's start with cumbia. Cumbia was born of a cultural mix of black and indigenous backgrounds. The origin of cumbia music started on the days of slavery in the late 17th century and is derived from the African word combe, which means dance. It originated in Panama. It is one of the most melodic representative expressions of Colombia. It brings together 3 cultures: African, which is the rhythm, indigenous, which is the flute instrument, and European, melodies, choreography, and costumes. It is a traditional courtship dance characterized by the persistent beat of a hand drum on the upbeats of 2/4 time signature and accompaniment of a shaker or scraper and large gaita flutes. Tango is said to have 2 origins. Its African origin means African dance, while its Spanish origin means to play an instrument. Tango came from a mixture of cultural influences including Africa, India, France, Spain, and Latin America. Next, we have cha-cha, was a breakaway from a usual concept of the 4th/8th note of the mambo. It's usually sensual and involves complex polyrhythms. Cha-cha was first popularized in the 1940s by Cuban charanga bands, comprised of piano, bass, violins, flute, and percussions, including timbales, a miniature version of orchestral timpani drums. Rumba is a family percussive rhythm, song, and dance. The name rumba was originally another way to say party, and rumba music can certainly be thought of as energetic party music. It is a recreational dance of Afro-Cuban origin, normally used as a ballroom. Bossa Nova means new trend in Portuguese or something charming. It refers to a style of music popularized in Brazil in the late 1950s. It was a movement causing a radical change in the classic Cuban samba. It uses the elements of samba and jazz. Reggae started in Jamaica but had its roots in New Orleans R&B. Its forefather is the ska, a musical genre of an up-tempo rhythmic variation. The word reggae was coined around 1960 to identify a ragged style of dance music. It uses lament-like style of chanting and emphasizes the syncopated beat. Foxtrot is typically danced to big band swing style music written in 4/4 time signature. The music tempo is 120 to 136 beats per minute. Foxtrot music is often suitable for swing dancing as well as for foxtrot dancing. It gave rise to other dances like the Charleston, Black Bottom, and Shimmy. Next we have the last one, Paso Doble. Dates back to a French military march entitled Paso Doble. It means two steps in Spanish. It is based on a musical played at bullfights during the bullfighter's entrance or paseo, or during the pases or faina just before the kill. This was a fast-paced march, which is why this is a fast-paced, arrogant, and dignified Latin American dance. So, how did Latin American music influence the culture of modern Filipinos? We have the different Latin American instruments. Some examples of Latin American instruments are the following. So, how can we continue to promote Latin American music?